In the Jonah story, which we just so beautifully heard, wow, we learn a lot about that troubled prophet. His rejected call to prophecy, his fleeing to sea, his being swallowed by a dag gadol, a big fish, which for our purposes today, I'm just going to refer to as the whale. Despite playing such a key role, our information about the whale in the text is rather limited. Here's what we know. God sends the whale to swallow Jonah. Jonah stays in the whale's stomach for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prays to God from inside of the whale, and God has the whale spew or vomited, depending on your translation, Jonah back out onto dry land. That's basically it. In the biblical text, Jonah doesn't speak at all to the whale, nor does the whale speak to Jonah. The relationship is intimate yet undefined. Considering the whale, our sages wondered, what exactly went on down there under the sea between Jonah and the whale? What was the significance of Jonah and the whale's relationship? Could Jonah really have fulfilled his prophetic duty all alone? So, our sages tell another story of Jonah inside the whale's belly. Marlo hadag leYona. The whale said to Jonah, "Haven't you heard? I'm supposed to be eaten by the Leviathan today. You know, the Leviathan, the dreaded ancient sea monster." Jonah responded to the whale, "Bring me right now to this sea monster." With Jonah safely inside the whale swam Jonah right up to the terrifying Leviathan. Confronted with the monster, Jonah said to it, "I came down here to these depths specially for you. Someday, deep in the future, I'm going to drag you up and serve you at the great feast for the righteous when Mashiach comes." Jonah then showed the Leviathan a ring that had the seal of Abraham on it and said, "Behold the covenant." The Leviathan saw this reminder of the covenant and swam out of sight as fast as it could. Now, Jonah said to the whale, "See, I've saved you from the Leviathan. How about we go explore the depths of the sea together?" The whale showed Jonah the great current of the ocean. The whale showed Jonah the sea of reeds which parted for Israel as they fled Egypt. The whale showed Jonah the place from where the swells of the sea and its waves go out, Earth's pillars and foundations, and even the underworld. Finally, the whale showed Jonah the foundation stone set in the watery depths underneath the temple. In this holy place, deep, deep, deep below the temple, Jonah said to the whale, "Stay here a moment, I'd like to pray." The whale stood still, and Jonah, still inside the whale's belly, began to pray before the Holy Blessed One. "Ribono shel olam, Master of the world, you bring death and give life. My soul has nearly died, so please give me life." A few moments went by, but nothing. But Jonah then added, "That which I promised I shall complete." And what was it that I promised? That I'm going to drag up the Leviathan to serve at the great feast for the righteous when Mashiach comes. At that very moment, the Holy Blessed One gave a hint to the whale that the time had come to send Jonah along his way. So, as the book of Jonah says, the whale spewed out Jonah onto dry land. This midrash, found in Pirkei de Rebbe Eliezer, is pretty imaginative in filling in some blanks of the book of Jonah as it appears in the biblical text. It's a little bit out there. Why did our ancient rabbis feel the need to tell a new story of Jonah in the whale, chasing the Leviathan and exploring the mysterious world underneath the sea? Why bring to life the character of the whale alongside the character of Jonah? We meet Jonah in the whale at rock bottom, in the sea, and in their lives. Jonah, as the biblical book tells us, is so unwilling to accept his job as prophet that he instead chooses to be thrown into the sea. The whale, meanwhile, according to this midrash, seems to have accepted a devastating future. Both of them are alone, facing their own monsters. Professor Esther J. Hamori, an expert on biblical monsters, describes a common monster geography in which monsters usually dwell outside of human society, lurking in the liminal spaces and the places beyond. In the depths of the sea, Jonah and the whale have certainly found themselves such a liminal space beyond the normal reaches of human society. In this place, they find the Leviathan, the terrifying biblical sea monster. And it is in this liminal space, deep underneath the sea, that both Jonah and the whale are able to look anew at their monsters and dream another future beyond the confines of their realities. But they don't stop at dreaming. They come together to chart a better future for themselves, a future made possible through mutual aid. After Jonah saves the whale's life, the whale takes Jonah around the sea's depths to witness together a profoundly expansive history of the world. Professor Rabbi Rachel Edelman casts the liminal space of the Midrash's sea exploration as connecting the primordial days of creation to the end time. With all of history, past, present, future, spread out before Jonah and the whale, the world looks quite different. The world, it turns out, is bigger than their assumptions. In the liminal expanse of the sea's depth, Jonah and the whale support and care for each other. With Jonah's protective presence, the whale is free from the Leviathan's oppression. With the whale's guidance, Jonah is free to imagine a life of purpose. Jonah commits to someday deep in the future, finally ridding the world of the epitome of fear, the Leviathan, and turn that fear into celebration, a feast for the righteous. According to this version of the Jonah story, liberation is a commitment to mutual aid with any being who can give or receive care, even a whale. Liberation can have its roots at the bottom of the sea, where it can seem too dark to see the path to the future we want for both ourselves and for those we care about. When our fates feel foretold, we can, in fact, reimagine the world we thought we knew and go out to create a new one together. Gemar Chatima Tova. May the book of life contain a better story than the one we ever thought possible.